Welcome in. I hope everybody on YouTube can hear me. It says that my volume is good, so I got about 14 different windows going here. So if you don't mind in the YouTube chat giving me a heads up and let me know that you can hear me. For whatever reason, when I started it right there for a second, it was clipped over to my phone camera. So welcome everybody in to YouTube. We got TikTok live going here normally for the people who are on YouTube. I talked to Neil the other day. We got BetOnline.ag we announced yesterday on the show. And so I usually do a gambling deal on TikTok, but TikTok has changed its deals with the subscriptions. It's a long story. So we're just going to do it on here. That way, a lot of the people from TikTok that missed the live have somewhere that they can go now and see the picks. And so I was like, hey, why not do it here? Also, TikTok is a little, we call him Uncle TikTok, is a little upset about the links and things like that to join betonline.ag. So betonline.ag is the new official sports book representative partner for McCready and Siskey. The link is in the description. So if you're on YouTube, in the description, we put the link. You can click there. You can sign up. It doesn't matter where you're located, anywhere in the world. You can bet on betonline.ag. That's what I have used since I quit coaching, not before NCAA, not before, but since I finished coaching, that's what I use. It doesn't matter where you're located. You can do that, whatever you want to do there. Okay. Also, if you go to Twitter, if you're on TikTok, again, Uncle TikTok doesn't like us posting links. You can go to Twitter, and he has the link posted there as well. All right, so we're going to hop into it, and then we're going to get to a normal live, what we do here. All right, so this week's games and what we'll do for all the people on TikTok and on TikTok knows, all the people on YouTube, what we'll do here is I'm just going to go through the games I like, my pool of games, the games I like to do, and then after that, we'll just have a chat, man. We'll talk about games, matchups, things like that. Any questions? This is your show. It goes the way you want to go. We have right around, I think, 300 on TikTok, and we got 70, I think, right now on YouTube. So we've got about 370 total. I don't know what we got on, we got about another 150 on Twitter. So we got a good crowd in here overall. And so what we'll do is we'll go through the lines, go through the games, go through the matchups where I'm at, and then any games you got question on, or just matchups in general. We'll be rocking and rolling. All right, I'm starting it off. I hit last night. Now, thank goodness I started off with a win last night. I had the Seahawks -1.5. You guys, if you didn't watch, the Seahawks dominated the game. And it's the NFL, man. Arizona found a way to stay active. They came back, tied the game. Only the NFL don't leave any time on the clock. 20 seconds later, the Seahawks were in field goal range, made it happen. All right, so we're starting out game 2 and 3 tonight. I'm taking both Florida State -6.5 at Virginia and TCU +3.5. TCU is +3.5 at Arizona State. I will say this from the beginning. I know Grind's in here. I feel very trappy about this Virginia line. I have no idea. I went back and watched, I guess this was 2 nights ago. I watched Florida State and Virginia play their last 2 games. I think Florida State should beat them by 20 points. I don't understand what I'm missing. I went back. I don't think there's no serious injuries to report. I don't get it. I think Florida State wins big on the road. I think they've had a week off. They know what's coming next week. They know Miami is right around the corner. I think they've had time to put emphasis on this game. It hasn't snuck up on them. I think Florida State wins big on the road. So official criteria club play for tonight is the Florida State Seminoles -6 at Virginia. Game number 2 is also tonight. TCU's +3.5. When that's the side we're taking, TCU +3.5 at Arizona State. At betonline.ag right now, you could get it at +3. I bought a half a point, so I'll make that very clear. I know we got some guys here that listen to things, that play a lot of bets and things like that. I never leave the line on 7 or 3 or 10. 7, 3, or 10, I stay away from. I'm going to move it a half a point in my advantage. And so I do that. It saved me a lot. Stuffy Nose on TikTok says buying points is never a good move. Well, it was great for me last week when I took the Auburn Tigers +7.5. It was great. So I much rather win money than split. So there you go. And I get what you're saying. I do understand the analytics of it, but it just makes me feel better about myself. It makes me feel better about myself. So that's what I'm doing that. All right. So TCU plus 3.5 at Arizona State. I think that the whole key to this drill right here is I think Arizona State. This is interesting. Arizona State, when push comes to shove, they like to run the football. Even though Tyson's back, Tyson's playing elite receiver. They're going to be tempted to do that. I think if you go back and you look when they played Mississippi State, I think they ran the ball 36 out of the last 39 snaps. And TCU, although they struggled in the North Carolina game, particularly early in the first half, in that game stopping the run, they've been pretty stout since. I like TCU in this game. TCU plus 3.5 is an official play, and that's where we're going there. All right, this is the game everybody wants to talk about, one of them. The LSU Bengal Tigers are traveling to Oxford, Mississippi. Ole Miss is favored by 1.5. I am playing LSU plus 1.5 in that game. Look, I think LSU has a slight advantage. I think it's inside the margin of error, but it's going to be a really good game. I just think the more the value, I'll probably end up losing this wager, and I'll tell you why in a second. But I think LSU plus 1.5 is where the play is. Here's the deal. If Ole Miss, I said this on the show yesterday, I think if Ole Miss's defensive front's got to create pressure. They've created pressure, but they got to get home on Garrett Nussmeier. They can't allow him to sit back and throw it. They got to, even if they generate pressure, they got to get him out of the pocket, and they got to get him spitting the ball across the field and throwing him one, still in possession or two. On the flip side, I think Ole Miss scores. I actually think probably the best play I've seen on this game this week is Ole Miss team total over 17.5. I think Ole Miss is going to do okay on offense. I understand that this is the best defense they've seen so far. But I still think Ole Miss has the capability, particularly with Lacey in the running game. He's got a knack of getting really nasty yards. Ole Miss has to establish a running game. You cannot, and I know this is what I've been trying to tell all my Ole Miss friends this week is, please do not build the expectations up for this quarterback. I just don't think this is a game that you got to go put on his shoulders to go win. I think there are other players that you can do that with. I think the receiving core has to have a great game, and I think Lacey has to have a great game. But you can't put the whole game on the quarterback's shoulders. If they make him one-dimensional, this defense will find ways to slow him down. I think you got to use him in the bonus. I think Chambliss now. I think what he's got to do, and I think this is why I think he will help them this week, is you're going to have to extend drives this week. You're going to have to extend drives. If it's 3rd and 6 and 7 guys are covered up, he's got to get some first down and extend drives with his feet. The reason I got LSU a slight advantage here is if you look at, I just think there is the LSU offense versus the Ole Miss defense. Even though LSU's really struggled to get things going, they got the guys. And the one thing that's really hurt LSU's offense is all the third downs and third and longs. I mean, LSU's got to lead the freaking nation in third and longs. Every drive it feels like they're third and long. But the reason being is because they're giving up so much pressure on the quarterback. And I can't get the fact that Ole Miss has only sacked the quarterback 4 times this season. And that's been playing Kentucky, Georgia State, Tulane, and Arkansas. And I agree. I think LSU's offensive line is not very good. It's definitely the weakness on the offensive side of the ball. But I would say LSU's offensive line is at least good, if not better, than the other teams that they played. Right. So I can't get that out of my head a little bit. That matchup's bother me. I do think it's going to be a great game. And I say all that to say this. I would like to say congratulations to all the Ole Miss fans, because Ole Miss, to the point, I'm not joking when I say this, I'm about to go see if I can cancel my bet. I would actually think Ole Miss is going to win this game for the sole reason that Old School has gone and placed a wager on LSU to win. Old School has not won a bet since the Reagan administration. He's literally like the black cloud. Wherever he goes, the black cloud. Old School, I see you over there. You know it too. He hasn't won a bet since the Reagan administration. He bet for LSU. So I'd like to say congratulations to all the Ole Miss fans. You're probably not only going to win the game, but you're probably going to win the game very convincingly now. So there you go. Old school, old school. For all the LSU fans, I apologize. All the LSU fans in the chat, it's old school's fault. It's old school's fault. So, but no, I think it's gonna be a great game. I'm excited to watch it. All right, Auburn at Texas A&M. I'm going in time order of kickoff. Auburn at Texas A&M. On the show, I played Auburn money line, and I think that's the best. I think that's the best for the way that we play the show game. That's the best odds for me to do that, to have a chance to win against Neil and not go to the haunted house. But I am going to be playing Auburn in the points as a personal wager. Auburn in the points. And let's see what BetOnline.ag has them as we speak. Let me make sure I got that pulled up for you right here. My computer being a little finicky, but we got, there she goes. As we speak right now, because I haven't looked at it since this morning, Auburn is still 6.5 point underdog. So I'm placing the wager on Auburn plus 6.5. I do think Auburn wins this game. I said that yesterday on the show. I know that upsets Grind because Grind's got the futures bet on Texas A&M. I think I went back and watched it. I think Auburn's a better team. I think if you look at this game, the difference is things to be concerned about if you're an Auburn fan. And I know we got a lot of you guys on TikTok chat. The things to be concerned about in this game for me is Auburn's defense for the first few weeks of the game looked really just out of sync, right? Out of sorts. And then they showed up and they go and played Oklahoma and they look like war daddies. Okay? And so, hang on. I don't know what the hell's going on. I got people texting me, random people. So anyway, you get there and you got people. When you watch those games, I'm sorry, that was a college coach that saw my recent tweet. I was trying to figure out if he was watching the show or just he was commenting on a tweet. I apologize. Auburn really they were miscombobulated a little bit on defense, right? And when you look at it, and they go and play Oklahoma, they look like war daddies. But one of the things they were able to do to Oklahoma, and it's something probably look for playing, with Oklahoma's future opponents. Oklahoma, as the books got on the material and what's going on there offensively, people are trying to basically say, hey, we're shutting down your running game. And so Auburn defensively can do that. They can shut down your running game. They were able to do that and really able to put Oklahoma's offense in a box. I think they're going to struggle personally doing that against Texas A&M. Texas A&M is very balanced on offense. They're really good with their RPO game. Marcel Reed is limited. He still will sell it and spin it to you and give it to you a little bit a few times on defense. But at the same time, I think they'll move the ball a little bit better on Auburn than Oklahoma did. But at the same time, I think Auburn's offense is going to be able to move the ball against Texas A&M's defense. I think it's a really good matchup, particularly with the receiving core. And look, I'll say this. I don't know if Grind's still in the chat or not, but I know we got some Auburn fans in TikTok. The thing to keep in mind here is a positive that you got out of that game last week is I think that you got some confidence back with receivers and quarterbacks. They're playing a little bit, right? And so I think they have a massive advantage there with wide receivers versus secondary for Auburn. So I do like Auburn to cover. Actually, I like them to win the game outright, but I love the points. All right, next play. I'm playing Mississippi State plus 7.5. I'm playing Mississippi State plus 7.5. Look, I actually think Tennessee has the edge in this game. I think Tennessee probably wins a close one. I almost took this on the show yesterday, but I didn't because I like the other ones better. But 7.5 points, 2 scores. This game could be a 14-point game. Levy's going to try to score points all the way to the end. This has got backdoor written all over it. No diddy. And Paul's. But Mississippi State at home, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's a good matchup for the Mississippi State offense. Tennessee's been banged up really bad on the back end, and they're going to have a bunch of explosive plays on offense. So I am playing Mississippi State plus 7.5 tomorrow. Next game, and I only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I only got 8 plays in college. My next play is I'm taking the Oregon Ducks plus 3.5 in Happy Valley. The Oregon Ducks plus 3.5 at Happy Valley. Nothing really more to add than what I did yesterday. I think Penn State's a great team. I think the speed of the game is the thing. And I said this on the show. I know I said on TikTok Live. I think I said this on the show. Is like last year. I personally believe that Ole Miss was easily a top 5 team in the country last year. Hell, they may have been top 2 or 3. Really good football team. And what I can't get out of my head, and I knew it that week, and I was like, oh no, they're so much better. Is they at the beginning of the season they played a bunch of nobodies, and then when Kentucky showed up, it was still Kentucky, but it was SEC speed, right? And that hurt them, and they end up losing the game, a game they should have never lost. And Kentucky goes 1-1 Ole Miss and 7 for the SEC. I think we're in the same situation here with Penn State. I think Penn State's really good. I think they're one of the better teams in the country. But guess what? So is Oregon. They've played fast. They play fast. And the style of play, similar to what Ole Miss did last year, their style of play is susceptible to speed recognition. And I think that's a big positive if you're going for the Ducks. I know it's at nighttime. I know it's 6:30. I know it's a whiteout. Nobody cares about all that. They'll go play the game. Oregon's built for this. I think Oregon wins the game outright, but I definitely like them plus 3.5. You're giving me a field goal and a half. I love it. All right, next game. The Alabama Crimson Tide going to Athens, Georgia. Georgia right now, let me make sure. I'm going to check a current line, make sure it's still there. Georgia on BetOnline.ag is a 3-point favorite. And I just don't really care. I don't really care. I've said the same thing. I've been saying it for 3 weeks. I thought Alabama would go do what they did to Monroe. I did what they did to Wisconsin. I don't know if they are mentally tough enough and have enough competitive character to survive that. Said it yesterday. We keep ignoring the fact that Georgia hasn't lost a game at home since there's been 3 presidents and a global pandemic since they've lost a game at home. Now, ironically, this Alabama team has done it before, but this isn't the same Alabama team. I think they are. I just don't, from a competitive character and just the type of mentality that it takes to win these games like there. I think it's missing. That's my opinion. I think it's missing. On top of that, if you go look at the whole deal, Alabama's gonna have to establish a running game. Okay. And when I say running game, it's all kinds. It is, from interior runs, inside, outside zone, but also perimeter screen games, spitting it out on flare screens, attacking the perimeter with the running backs or the receivers, spitting the ball out with basically, substituted handoffs. They have to be able to do that. And I just don't think they can. It's not that they just don't move anybody. They don't create any push up front. They didn't do it against Wisconsin. Like if you notice the Wisconsin game, they could not get a running game going against Wisconsin. And so they ended up going 5 wide, just out-athleting everybody. They can't do that this week. And so I just think it's a bad matchup for Alabama going into Athens. I think Georgia wins this game, and I wouldn't be surprised if they win it by double digits. All right, last game. I got last college game. I got BYU, as the Joker came out yesterday. BYU 6.5-point favorites at Colorado. Colorado's just not very good, man. I get everything, but they're just not very good. So that's kind of where I'm at with them. BYU's a solid team. They play physical. They're going to run downhill. They'll challenge them up front. They'll win a line of scrimmages. They'll chase Caden Salter around, and he's not Shedeur Sanders. I think BYU beats them big. All right, while we're on that, what other questions we got? Anybody else got anything on college before we go to the NFL? Then we'll get to any college spread questions before we go to the NFL. Then we'll have a normal live after that. Ole Miss first quarter. Think Lane is one of the best opening script guys. Case, I do not disagree with that at all. I'll see if I can find the first quarter line. I think that's why I'm not a big guy on these spreads that are like these goofy spreads, right? Let me see if I can find something for you here on BetOnline.ag. I'm not a big goofy spreads guy, but the one I did like was Ole Miss team total plus 17.5. I think they're going to score. Let's see. I just don't know if they're going to be able to keep LSU from scoring either. Let's go. Let me go. We got winner. We got overall spread. We got totals 50.5, rush yards, alternate player props, receiving yards, passing yards, touchdown scorers. All right, here we go. Teams. Let's go. Let's win the quarter. Mother scratcher. Let's see here. All right. So I got Ole Miss. This is total points. It's 11 and a half. I'm trying to get Ole Miss first half line. What do you got it at? Yeah, I got BYU minus 6.5. I can't find it. I'm sure it's on here and I can't find it. I got the team total for Ole Miss. The team total for Ole Miss is up to, here it is. Team total for, oh. What is that? You can get a team total over two and a half on BetOnline.ag in the first quarter. Right now, the over under for team total for Ole Miss is 17 and a half, or is 19 and a half. I just looked at it. 18 and a half. I'm sorry. Um, Siskey quote: "Saban can't save them now." No, it's a different mentality. I'm not a. It's a completely different mentality. Uh, Syracuse money line at home. This is on YouTube. Trey, appreciate you joining us. That's AJ's pick. AJ took the Syracuse money line against Duke at home. I wouldn't put it past them. The only reason I'm staying completely away from it is because the starting quarterback is out for Syracuse, so I just stayed away from it. But he tore his Achilles against Clemson in that game. So all official posted in the space as well. Appreciate you, Todd. Thank you for posting that in the space for me, boss. All right. Any other questions on YouTube and or TikTok about college spreads before we move to the NFL? Mark Franklin, when you say a team total, do you mean Ole Miss to only score 7? Like more, like that you would say a team total is the same thing as an over/under. It's a number, and over or under that, you would bet the over or under. Mark, I'm looking at the wrong camera. Mark, I got too many cameras going over here. Mark, I got TikTok over here. I got YouTube right here. I got Ryder Cup on right there. I'm scrambling. Trinidad going to cook LSU. Yeah, so Trinidad Chambliss, I think there's some. He's got to extend the game. If he, and he's a smart kid. He's played a lot of football. He'll recognize it when LSU goes, man. If LSU has to, this is what would be interesting. I would firmly expect. Like I think it's kind of common sense from a coaching standpoint. And I know we got a lot of Ole Miss people on MPW Digital listening right now. I think it's common sense that you're going to see LSU try to create pressure and stop the run out of too high to start the game, because they don't want to get in a habit of playing a ton of man coverage, because that's when he can beat you with his legs. So I think they're going to try. Now here's the thing. That's why I keep saying all week about it's really important for Lacey to have a good game. Well, when they go too high, that means they're a man short in the box, right? Or you got numbers. You can create numbers, and so they're going to have to get Lacey going with the running game to force them to play man coverage, bring an extra guy to the box. And when they do that in passing situations, now the DBs are playing man coverage, and you can go bust them and he can go bust them up with his legs. I think it's if you're going to the game. Obviously, we got a lot of Ole Miss fans watching the game. From a LSU defensive perspective, that's what I would be watching for: is how much one high versus two high, and when do they make the swap, right? And start seeing that, and it's really simple. If you just look at the safeties, this is a simple way to kind of figure out what I'm talking about. When you start seeing those safeties start getting nosy in the run, that's when you're going to start seeing some one high stuff, and you can start seeing Chambliss take off with his feet a little bit, particularly on passing downs. I like Lacey, but Bro's the least elusive back I've ever seen. Yeah, but he gets just nasty yards, man. I like him as a running back. I really do. He's my type of guy. Like, I would like coaching him. He's not going to, like, here's my thing about elusive guys, right? Like, I much rather, particularly in the SEC, I much rather have a guy that's going to run through tackles than a guy that's going to avoid them. Because once you get into league play, you're not outrunning anybody. Like, the amount of running backs or receivers in the SEC that can outrun everybody is like slim to none, because everybody's fast and now you're playing against angles. Like, it's not high school. And so for me, for an SEC, I love Lacey. I think he gets nasty yards. He's physical. He's downhill. He kind of knows, he does it his way. But I think he's phenomenal in pass protection, which nobody talks about. Very few people talk about how effective he is in the passing game, which makes him a 3-down back, which increases his value for the next level. I like the guy. I think y'all may hate him, LSU fans or whoever may not like him. I love the guy. I think he's great. Midwest Picker, will we see Simmons at all? I don't think so. I've said this. I don't think he's even close to 100%. And I think it's not. I think it's more than a low ankle sprain. I don't know that. I haven't asked, so don't say. I don't know. But I've coached enough football to know a low ankle sprain, you're moving around a little bit more than that. So it's something that I think it's something a little bit more than that. UCF moneyline over Kansas State. I talked to somebody about this the other day, Warzone. Like, I think this was Wednesday. It should have been 2 days ago. I was talking about this game with a buddy of mine that may or may not coach on one of those teams. And for whatever reason, man, Kansas State has a really good roster, but they have shit in their Easter basket since they left Dublin. They have not played. They actually played well against Iowa State, and then something happened, and they haven't played worth a shit from then on out. And I don't think Central Florida is a great team. I think they're okay. So I'm just staying away from it. I got too many questions on both sides. You got Houston minus 13.5 and TCU plus 3.5. Yeah, I looked at the Houston game. I'm staying away from it. I'm just going to go with the good ones. Nick, what it is. All right, anything else on college spreads? We'll come back and talk college ball, but anything else on college spreads before we move on? We all good? Good in the neighborhood? Midwest Picker with Luke Hosplay. I have no idea. I haven't asked, and I don't know. I'm very unfamiliar with his injury situation. All right, NFL. Mine's really simple. NFL very difficult this week. I didn't see a whole lot of games I liked. I will let you know that I'm only playing 5 games in the NFL this week, and I set them all on the show yesterday. So I took the Seahawks minus 1.5 at Arizona. It hit, so I start off the week 1-0. I'm taking Washington. It's down to minus 1. Let me see if that's changed. I know it was at 1.5, and then right before the show yesterday, it changed to. I was like, y'all about freaked out because I forgot I hadn't changed the NFL. I hit Washington, and it said plus 9. I was about to just start hammering this computer to go bet it. All right, Washington is now plus 2. Washington is now plus 2 at the Falcons. I'm hammering that. I think Washington wins this game outright. That just tells me that Jaden Daniels is not playing. I don't care. I took the minus 1 when he wasn't playing. I'm taking him plus 2 when he's not playing. I don't care. Terry McLaurin, they got a better team. Falcons are awful. They can't run the football though. I was going to take him. I was going to take him with Marcus Mariota. He won last week. I was going to take him with Marcus Mariota. I'm taking him with him too. I love that game. All right, my third game. Y'all don't have to play it. I'm just playing it. All right, and when it hits, just make sure. Yeah, just remember. Very good point. Who said that? Travis on TikTok says Mariota runs Cliff's offense just as good. That was probably the best free agent signing for a backup quarterback that nobody talks about, because Marcus was an elite. I mean, he literally won the Heisman Trophy. He was an elite spread quarterback in college, like literally won the Heisman Trophy. And he went and they stuck him in pro style, and all he could do, he got drafted high, and there's a reason he got drafted high. They stuck him in the pro style offense, couldn't do anything with it. Now he goes back to this offense and is becoming a good player again. So I'm all in on him. All right, I'm taking the Jaguars plus 3.5 at the 49ers. I like the Jaguars, man. In an NFL, 3.5 might as well be 16.5 in a game like this. But I can see the 49ers winning the game, but 3.5 is a big number in this particular matchup. I like the Jaguars plus 3.5. I'm taking this bad boy to the afternoon. I'm taking the Ravens minus 2.5 at the Chiefs. I think the window's closing for the Chiefs. I think both teams are going to have a sense of urgency here. I just think the Ravens have a better team, period. I think they're more explosive on offense. I think they have a better defense. I just think they're aging. I think the Ravens are really good up front. I mean, the Chiefs are really good up front, but after that, they're just not the same team that they've been. They're aging. They're out of the window. I'm taking the Ravens minus 2.5 at the Chiefs. And then finally, the Packers minus 6.5 at the Cowboys. I mean, is there anything to be said? I mean, that's kind of where we're at. I think they're going to blow the doors off of them. All right. Any questions on lines before we get going to the normal lives here? Yeah, Dallas is terrible. Left lots. Going once, going twice. All right, let's get back. KQ, appreciate the follow. Dave, appreciate the follow. Detroit, yeah, I'm not touching Detroit. Right now, Detroit is a 10-point. I don't like big lines in the NFL, man. That's just it's a weird deal. I'm not a big lines NFL guy. They're 10 points against Cleveland. Yeah. College money lines. I'm not playing any of them, but I think Oregon, Auburn, TCU are live dogs. I think Alabama's a live dog as well. Steelers in second home and Dublin. AJ and Neil, I think both are taking the Steelers. Yeah, they both are taking the Steelers at plus 2.5, or I guess whatever they are. We got the color wrong over there, but yeah, I'm not touching that game. Do I like the Washington spread? We talking about the Commanders or Huskies? Jared Goff in the house. We talking about the Huskies or that? The Huskies? I want to. I'm not playing that game, and I feel like I'm missing out. I have a feeling that game's going to be really close. I think it's going to be low scoring. I went and watched both of those games. I went and watched Ohio State's last two and Washington's last two last night, just to make sure I had a feel on it. I initially thought it'd be a high-scoring game. I've kind of flipped my script. I think it's going to be a lower-scoring game. I think they can cover in a low-scoring game. Yeah, it did. It's opened up and dropped. Everybody else got the same idea we did. As a Tennessee fan, this game worries you? It should, because the matchup. Because the secondary hasn't been tested. You haven't been really – I mean, look, Gunnar Stockton looked like freaking Peyton Manning against that secondary. So, yeah, I'd be worried too. Midwest Picker, you can get Ole Miss minus 1.5. You might as well do it. Hammer it, Midwest Picker. Hammer it, because Old School took LSU. So that means I'm fixing to cancel my bet. Notre Dame 4.5 against Arkansas. Thoughts? That is from KQ. I have no idea. I think Notre Dame's going to score. I think Arkansas is going to score. I just can't trust Arkansas's defense. I can't trust Arkansas's defense. Trust their offense. I can't trust their defense. And I'm not sold on Notre Dame either. Florida State, yeah, I'm taking Florida State. If it's a trap, I'm going to fall right into it. Craig Glenn, I would take 6.5 in the Auburn game. Yeah, I am too. Me too. Kyle, just join. What's your thoughts on Bama versus Georgia? Sorry if you already answered. Yeah, it's all good. Alabama versus Georgia, we talked about it. I'm not big on the competitive character part of it. With Alabama, I think that's who you are. I don't think that's something you fix in 3 weeks. I think that's who you are as a person and your character. Matchup wise, I think Alabama has to get a running game going. Okay, I don't think they can play from behind the chains. And whether it be, and when I say running game, it can be perimeter screen game or all that stuff too. Anything on the perimeter, quick first down, P and 10 plays, right? I think they got to keep them ahead of chains. I don't think this is a game you can go say, hey, Ty Simpson, go win this for me. I don't think it's one of those. And so, on the flip side, Georgia's got to find a way to get to the quarterback too. And when you go back and watch Georgia play, it's like there's this big misconception that Georgia can't get to the quarterback. Everybody they've played is like literally catching fire, and they really haven't had a lot of opportunity to just like pin their ears back and go. And I think that's where this game is going. That's why I'm taking Georgia. If you made me look to where this game is going, I think Alabama's going to have a tough time playing ahead of the chains. It's going to turn this thing into a drop back game, and I think Georgia's going to be able to get to the quarterback. That's my synopsis of what I think is about to happen in this game. Ready to show Texas Tech, Landry, ready to show Texas Tech some love yet? Oh, yeah, they're the best team money can buy. They've demonstrated that. FSU is a trap. Tommy can't throw the ball, and it'll show on the road. Well, I'm falling right into it, Jet. I'm hook, line, and sinker. Right up in it. Right up in it. Titans will get their gum flat, says Titans will get their first win this weekend. Ugh. They may do it, but I'm not betting on them. They may do it, but I'm not betting on them. LSU Ole Miss, yeah, we've talked about it. I give a slight edge to LSU, but it's definitely inside the margin of error. It's gonna be a hell of a game. I'm actually looking forward to watching it. If you're a college football fan, that's gonna be a hell of a game. Kendrick, I like Georgia this weekend, but I was surprised to learn that Georgia's defensive line is 0 sacks this year. But that's the thing, Kendrick, if you go back, that's why I went back and watched. It's not about them not getting home. It's about, everybody's going spit catch, spit catch, spit catch. And I think this game is not going to be that. And I think they got the dudes to go do it, and that's where I'm at with that. But I agree with you. I mean, it's very, very surprising. Todd, what were the NFL plays quick again? I'll get them posted. Well, I've already done the Seahawks. Washington now is +2. The Jaguars +3.5. The Ravens -2.5. And the Packers -6.5. Kyle, Lena's going to try to put up 100 with the news of his daughter dating weeks coming out. Yeah, I'm not really talking about that, Kyle. I can't. It feels immensely creepy for me to talk about. I just, out of respect, I can't do that. You know what I mean? I just, as a human being, I can't. That's beyond creepy for me. Beyond creepy. Mark, am I going to the game? No, I'm not going to go to the game. My son's going. I was going. Taylor Moore is playing in the Sanderson Farms next week, and he was going to come. He was going to come and go to the game, and then he had to go do a sponsor thing early in this week. So I think it's affected his practice schedule. So he's not coming anymore. So I gave it to my kids. Buzzard for the kill. Prediction: Georgia Southern versus James Madison. James Madison. I really have no idea. I've watched both of them play about a half of football. James Madison's a better team from what I've seen. Will Billy get fired? I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what they're going to do, man. I honestly don't. This $20 million buyout, they'll probably be able to get the money if they want to get it. We will see. I don't know. I hope not. I love Billy. Everybody knows that. I'm not telling anybody things that y'all don't know, but I just don't understand why you fire any coach in the middle of the season. It makes zero sense and puts yourself in nothing but a bind from everything else. Rachel Smith, how are you? Says, I wonder how frequently thank you, Jerry Chance are coming in Arlington on Sunday. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's gonna be rough. The first time he has a sack, it's gonna be rough, Rachel. It'll be rough. Kendrick, if Ole Miss loses a low scoring game, take the over, becomes the new popcorn. No, I wouldn't do that. It's a really big game for Ole Miss. I think we talked about it a little bit. I don't remember if it was Monday or Thursday on our show with Neil. This is a really big game for Ole Miss. If Ole Miss can find a way to win this game, the calculus changes. And it turns into, hey, maybe we can do this, to hey, now all you got to do is avoid the landmines. You're going to be favored. Regardless of what happens, you're going to be favored. You would have to lose a game as a favorite, a substantial favorite, in order to not go to the playoffs. So that's where, it's a big game, really big game. If LSU loses, Old School will get his Texas cap out of the trash. Oh, Ole Miss is winning the game. because old school bet on them. 100%. 100%. Does any team go undefeated this year? I don't think in the SEC. I don't. It's hard, man. I think we're about to have carnage. It's just such a fine line. I mean, the teams are very close. It's NFL light. It's all about matchups. Ray, appreciate the follow. Um, if Bama wins, we know it's a real thing. I wouldn't hold my breath. I'm just gonna be honest, and I know Alabama fans hate me for that and all that stuff. And I mean, I wouldn't hold my breath. I do not have a great feeling about that one at all. Dwayne, Auburn or A&M? I like Auburn. I think Auburn's a better football team. Who's winning the SEC this year? I have no idea, Aiden. I mean, I have no clue. I can probably tell you who's not winning it, but I can't tell you who's winning it. San Diego State money line versus NIU. I don't know, man. I watched San Diego State play last week, and I still don't understand it. Thoughts on Vandy? I was wrong on Vandy. I was 100% wrong on Vandy. I'll tell you when I'm wrong. I was 100% wrong on Vandy. They play as a team. They're good on defense. They find a way. Jerry Kill, even schematically, they do some really good stuff. Jerry Kill is probably the most underappreciated assistant coach in the history of college football. They're playing really good right now. Now, you just got to make it about athletes is the only way you're going to beat them. You're not going to make it about scheme and beat them. You got to make it about athletes. You want to take Tulane minus 14.5, but want to know your thoughts first? Yeah, I would. I against Tulsa, I think they will respond pretty well. You got to remember this too: is Tulsa's coming off like one of the bigger wins in school history against Oklahoma State, and then Gundy gets fired. They've been hearing about that all week. John's pretty good on the rebound. I like Tulane. I should have bet that. I may end up betting anyway. Jamie, what hat am I wearing, Rex? This is a Thompson's Paint and Body Shop hat. My man Don Thompson sent me. Does Florida State cover night? Hell, I hope so. I'm playing it. I've already bet it. Callaway Dial. I know I missed it, but the thoughts on the SEC dropping a hammer of a schedule. I think it's interesting. I felt, this is just my personal opinion. This is not sourced. This is my opinion. I felt when I look at like the permanent opponents, it was like they took, hey, we're going to protect two of your rivalries, right? And then this third one, we're going to kind of balance it out based on current wins and losses and things like that. So if one of your permanent opponents has traditionally not been good inside the league, then they gave you a hard one. That's what it looked like to me. But it doesn't really matter. The point is going to 9 games. I think that a lot of SEC fans are probably going to have to get. You just added 8 losses to your conference. That's what you did. By the math, you added 8 losses to your conference. So, it's going to change the calculus some for sure. With fan bases, 100%. We'll be wanting to fire coaches more than ever next year. More than ever. Could you see Vandy making the SEC championship game? No, Speed. I can't bring myself to do that. I can't bring myself to do that. I just can't. Just off of principle, Speed, I can't do that. Better game, Oregon, Penn State, or Bama, Georgia? I mean, I think they're both going to be good. I'm excited for a lot of games. I think that the LSU Ole Miss game is going to be really good. I'm excited to watch that. I think this TCU Arizona State's going to be good. I think Mississippi State's going to be good. I think this Auburn A&M game is going to be really good. I think the Ohio State Washington game is going to be good. It's a great weekend of football. UM Rebel fan on TikTok. Tulane minus 14.5 is good. I think so. Hey, make sure on just so you guys know on whatever you guys, I know it's new to all the people on YouTube. Anything you want to talk about in the chat, drop it, and I'm gonna go here for about another 15 minutes. And I know we're on a little bit of delay, so YouTube. So I'll try to catch I'm catching your comments when you're getting them up. Thoughts on the Vols? I think Tennessee is going to. Uh, I think they win the game, but I think it's going to be uncomfortable. I think it's in the margin of error. If you told me Mississippi State won the game, I wouldn't just be utterly shocked. I think, look, Jeff Levy's done a great job at Mississippi State. I know a lot of Ole Miss fans don't like to hear that, but Jeff Levy's a good coach. Those guys are playing hard. They're explosive. They're a fun team to watch. They're explosive on offense. They're playing hard. They're much improved. Are they going to win the league? No. But are they going to beat people they're not supposed to beat? Yes, because they're explosive on offense and they're going to be able to score points. J Mill, that's what I'm doing right now. J Mill, if you'll go to MPW Digital, I'm putting the picks. I started at the very beginning of the show. I'm putting the picks on there on YouTube so you can go back and see them. That's why we're doing it. That and BetOnline.ag came on. Let's go. That's a good time to remind everybody. If you're looking for a place to wager, you want to help out the show, in the link, I put the link in the description on YouTube. Okay? So if you hit that link in YouTube, or if you're on TikTok, Uncle TikTok doesn't like us posting the link. We got 400 people of you guys right now in the chat. But if you go to our Twitter page, that bio's there, the link is there, or you can go to YouTube and the link, you hit the link, you can get signed up at betonline.ag. They'll hook you up. I think it's $250 for free bets, and then if you use Bitcoin, which is what I do, you can get I think it's a 50% Bitcoin bonus. Pretty good. Midwest Picker was Revs beating Tulane 45-10, their most impressive win so far. As a team, Midwest, I would actually say yes. I thought that was probably the best they looked as a team. I'll say this. I thought the Arkansas game, the thing that was like, again, this is from the coaching side of me, being able to make the play in the red zone in the Arkansas game, like being able to make a play when you have to make a play, it says something about that, about that particular player. So you're glad to see them make a play when they had to make a play. But as a team, yeah, I think I thought they played really well against Tulane last week. That's for me. Cam, I can use Coinbase to deposit. Yes, Cam, that's what I use. It's exactly how I do it, Cam. And again, I got the link over here on YouTube if you want to come to YouTube to MPW Digital. So if you come to YouTube, we've got a bunch of you guys over here in TikTok. If y'all come over here to YouTube to MPW Digital and also hit that subscribe button, which is free. It's not the TikTok subscription. It's a free subscription, which is like the follow button. Hit that on MPW and hit that like button. It'd be awesome. Wake versus Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech by 260,412. Notre Dame, what do you think? We just talked about it. I just think that's going to be a high-scoring game. I don't trust either one of their defenses, but I probably trust Arkansas's defense less. Not probably, I do. You teased the game down to Tennessee minus 1.5. Mike says, what in the hell is Coinbase? Mike, I would have – there's nothing in this world that surprises me more that you don't know what Coinbase is. I'm 100% know that you didn't even have to say that. I knew for a fact that you didn't know what Coinbase was. Hey, Mike, did we ever ask you, how old are you, Mike? Mike, how old are you? Seriously, real talk. How old are you? I know I tease you all the time. How old are you? Midwest Picker says, don't spend your Bitcoin yet. It's going to go up a lot soon. I hope so, Midwest Picker. Hey, Midwest Picker, that Bitcoin goes up a lot soon. Y'all may not see your boy again. Y'all say, hey, where the hell did Siskey go? Shit, heard he was down there. Heard he was down there in the Dominican playing golf. Last time I heard about it, he was down there in the Dominican playing golf. Yeah, I hope so. I'll be gone. Small Town Republic, Tennessee, Mississippi State may be the most entertaining game tomorrow. If you like offense, it's going to be a hell of a game. I agree, Small Town Republic. You're not old enough to know what Coinbase is. XRP, I dabbled in XRP. I'm light in it though, but I've dabbled. Ryan, it says Tennessee minus 35.5. I like it. Football God, Bama and Georgia is the best game. A football God, just so you know, this isn't my list. Does anything about this face look like that? Look, I created that list, that graphic right there. For those on YouTube, I have a green screen of a graphic that I screenshotted. Please tell Old School not to pick Mississippi State. Oh, hey, I'm telling you, Ole Miss fans are going to be huge, 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 huge Old School fans because he picked LSU. That guaranteed an Ole Miss victory. It's already over. Like they might as well just take the plane when the plane hits Tupelo. They might just wrap that shit up and head back to Baton Rouge. Like there's no chance. They don't have a chance. Hey, I know we got a lot of Ole Miss fans over here on MPW Digital. I'm not even joking. Old School has literally not won a single wager since I've known him. That is 100% fact, and it's been over a year. He has not won not the first game in over a year, not one. Like literally not one. And he bet on Georgia and LSU this week. So congratulations to Alabama and Ole Miss fans. Like, y'all think I'm joking. I'm canceling my wagers. I'm not joking. Iowa and Indiana better than a lot of these games. Yeah, I'm going to remind you for the 46th time, this is not my list. Matt, either Ole Miss wins or this will be another We Are Ole Miss moment to get an Old School first damn win. Matt. Hey, Matt, I will say this. I've always said I never understood the We Are Ole Miss thing. I never understood it. It used to make me mad when I coached at Ole Miss because I'd be like, hey, can we have a little fucking confidence around here? Can we have a little swag around here? Can we like believe in our abilities around here? It used to make me mad. Now it's gone away a lot. It hasn't been around a lot. Obviously, that's what happens when you win football games. Shocker. But yeah, that would be the definition of a We Are Ole Miss moment. If this is the game that breaks Old School's losing streak. Does US come back in Ryder Cup? I've been the worst golf fan ever. I've watched. Hey, I know this is going to shock y'all. Neil McCready has watched more golf today than I have. We Are Ole Miss. We Are Ole Miss is the version of the Braves in the '90s. Once they get in the World Series, hey, got it. Very familiar. Thank you, Ryan. Mike, appreciate the follow. Tate Witt weeks under his tackle total. He had no sleep this week. Kill Bill, come on, dog. I can't, guys. I can't. That's so creepy to me. And I can't do it. I can't comment on it. Like it's just that makes me feel creepy. That's so weird. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. And again, I remember all three of them, Presley, Landry, and Knox, running down the hallways in New Orleans at the Sugar Bowl. As little 7-year-old, 6-year-old, I can't do that. That's freaking bizarre and weird to me. Jay Mill, I think Georgia gets after them pretty good. Actually, I don't know. I mean, score prediction. I think they beat them by 7 or 10 points. Well, you're 17 now, so if it's okay, I get okay. That's fair. You young guys can do that take. I can't do it. Chris Camp, how do you even invest in Bitcoin or Bitcoins? So I have a Coinbase account. It's an app. You get a digital wallet. You can do it on Robinhood now too, Chris. There's several ways to do it. Several different people. You basically get a digital wallet and you buy it, and it's I've tried to explain this to people. If you're you can't look at it like if you're a person that has invested in stocks, it will drive you nuts because it's so volatile. Like it can go down 20% one day, up 32 the next day, down 42 the next day. It's just a constant roller coaster. So it's not for the faint of heart. Yeah, you can buy it on Cash App. I think Venmo too, right? Ole Miss has just let you down so much. I always love it. It'll be a good game tomorrow. I think it's going to be a great game tomorrow. I mean, that's what it's about tomorrow. I mean, it's a huge game. Yeah, yeah. Jackpot says, don't look at it at all. Don't peek at it. Just act like it's not there. Um, can't get how anyone can find that storyline anything but creepy. Yeah, I can't. I don't understand it. I did think it was very interesting. I did think it was very interesting. Um, so I'm getting a lot of text messages right now. Uh, so for those that didn't see my tweet today, I'll cover this while we're here because it'll be the news cycle will have been gone. Um, is there is a so a lot of the Virginia Tech players, for those that don't know, a lot of the Virginia Tech players are opting out. Okay, they want to get they played their 4 games. They want to get their red shirt because they fired their coach. So they went in and said we're opting out. And Virginia Tech, within their rights, said, "Cool, so you're quitting." And so, no, we're opting out. No, you're quitting because we're paying you to do a job. And so they said, "Yeah, we're done." And so they, in their right, they pulled their scholarship and stopped paying them their rev share because they quit. And so there's some freaking guru on Twitter that puts some post out. He's like, how big of a shame is it for Virginia Tech to stop paying their rev share and stop paying their scholarship because they're opting out? And so it just caught me wrong. Probably shouldn't have done it, but I just got one from a coach at USC. I just got another one from a coach at Maryland. That's what was popping up. And then a very popular college football person that you guys probably watch their show. But I said, today's life advice: quit your job, demand to be paid. If they stop paying you, this guy will represent you in court. So he uses this, he does it, and he says, let me know, I'll come represent you. I'll be glad to represent you in court. And then he goes, then I put, out of curiosity, if they don't pay you your legal fees, are you still showing up to court? You freaking quit. But I would also like to use this, just so you guys know. I would like to use this as Exhibit 1A of why you don't fire your coach before the end of the season. In my court case, I would like to put this as Virginia Tech as Exhibit 1A of why you don't fire your coach until the end of the season. You end up creating a hell of a lot more problems than you're solving. Sean, appreciate you. Sean says, you're awesome. Thank you, sir. Tell the truth and tell it like it is. I try. Some people don't like the truth. You know, one thing I've learned about since I've been doing this deal, the podcast stuff, is I try to be honest. I try to tell the truth. I try to keep it real. But a lot of people take telling the truth as hating. I'm not hating on anybody. I'm just telling the truth, giving my opinion. But people view that as hating. Kill Bill, just comment. Do you think Lane? I'm not. Kill Bill, stop. I'm not doing that. Yeah, Rebel fan. That's a good point. Rebel fan. How about this? Ole Miss fans. I actually have an Ole Miss fan over here that's defending me a little bit. He's got a good point. I don't care enough to hate. I don't care enough to hate. I do hope my kids are Ole Miss fans. I would like for them to have a good day, but I don't. It doesn't. That's the only part I care about. I don't care if anybody wins or loses. Alabama Richie, what it is? Hoping you have a good day, brother. Hope you're having a good day. Notre Dame, Arkansas, probably Notre Dame. I don't know. I'm pulling like hell for Arkansas. That's just gonna be a lot. All right. I'm going to end the YouTube stream. I appreciate. I don't want to be on here long. I don't want to take up all the stuff on the YouTube. I'm going to be doing these on Fridays throughout the season, going over bets and all that stuff. And that way, the people from TikTok that have been doing the sub only space can go and see the picks and all that stuff, and bring them over to MPW Digital and get some more subscribers on MPW Digital. But just to remind everybody, the BetOnline.ag is the new sportsbook partner of McCready and Siskey. The link that you click to go to BetOnline.ag that gets you under our umbrella is listed in the bio, in the description of the video, or you can go to Twitter. Twitter allows us to put the link in there. You can go to Twitter and hit that link and get signed up. That helps out the show. It helps us out, and you can be anywhere you want to be to place a wager. But I appreciate everybody for joining on YouTube. I'm going to stay on TikTok. I just don't want to take up all this time on YouTube. So TikTok, stay put for a second. And then, but I want big thanks to Neil, obviously Neil McCready, for letting us use his network to do this today. BetOnline.ag is awesome. Rain, awesome partner. County Line Campers, Kia Meridian, Spin the Wheel, Prime, Thompson's Paint and Body, Bank First, Cole Walters. Sponsorship's been amazing. Been believe 47, the new I can't say the word on TikTok, a new sponsor we got. But appreciate everybody joining and helping us out, sponsor the show. It's been awesome. And I appreciate you guys as always on YouTube. I'm going to continue for a little bit here on TikTok, and then we'll end it for the day. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. I know we got a lot of MPW Digital people going to the game. Please be safe. Please be smart. Please be careful traveling. I hope you guys have a wonderful game tomorrow. I really do. I actually hope you guys win, and I like to see when you guys are in a good mood. That's awesome. But I hope I hope everybody's team wins. I know they all can't, but don't fire anybody. Please take a deep breath before you fire anybody on social media this weekend. All right. Hope you guys have a wonderful, blessed day, and we'll talk to you later.